Minister of Education Malam Adamu today inaugurates 5 new board of 5 universities in Nigeria. He charged them to be abreast of current laws, government policies, government white papers, circulars and other relevant documents in taking decision. Minister of Education, who was represented by Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Architect Sonny Echonu, noted that none of the board members lobbied their way into the governing council.
The Honorable Minister of Education, Malam Adamu, I'm highly pleased to welcome you all to the inauguration ceremony of the governing councils of 5 federal universities, 4 of whose councils, as we were told earlier, were dissolved by the visitor for varied reasons in line with the provisions of the law. The affected universities are the University of Lagos, the University of Port Harcourt, the University of Ibadan, and the Maritime University in Okorenkeko, Delta State. The 5th university, the Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, has had no council since the expiration of the tenure of the Dr. Yomi Ogunbiyi-led council nearly 3 months ago. It is important to state that none of the persons elected to these councils was privy to their consideration, so they did not apply or lobby for these positions. In fact, the minister had, in some instances, to personally appeal to many of you to kindly accept nominations as pro-chancellors before convening for the approval of Mr. President. We are honored by your sacrifice of service. We are grateful to all of you for accepting to serve in the reconstituted governing councils of these prominent federal universities. I am, and I beg your pardon here, particularly grateful to the former Super Permanent Secretary, former governor of what we now call Edo and Delta states, and as the politicians we fondly remember, former chairman of the ruling party, Chief Oyogun. I'm also grateful to my brother and friend, Prince Teju Osho, the distinguished senator, as well as Chief Oscar Udoji, whose exploits in ensuring that the party took root has been recounted by an earlier speaker. We are grateful for all of you for accepting to lead the universities of Ibadan, Lagos, and the Obafemi Awolowo, particularly under these difficult circumstances. We recognize the individual and collective sacrifices all of you are making to face the daunting task of revitalizing these critical institutions at this moment in our nation's development. Let me formally congratulate all the newly appointed chairmen and members of the governing councils on their well-earned recognition as eminent and highly respected citizens of our dear country. I am happy that at this period of Nigeria's quest for rapid development, we had once again accepted our invitation to join in the task of resuscitating our universities to enable them fulfill their mandates of providing quality teaching, research, and community service. One of the strategies for addressing the issues and challenges of tertiary education is the appointment of chairmen and members of governing councils from among people with proven integrity and experience, both in education and in administration. We are confident that you will bring your wealth of experience, adherence to and respect for the rule of law and due process to bear in the discharge of your duties. Governing councils at all times should be abreast of current laws, government policies, government white papers, circulars, gazettes, and all other relevant instruments and documents that will help in taking decisions without undue interference in the day-to-day running of the institutions. To be relevant and effective in the management of your respective institutions, governing councils are rather expected to concentrate on broad policy issues, adopting best practices, monitoring of institutional projects, and securing additional funding to improve the facilities and infrastructure that will promote teaching, research, and learning in your institutions. As you are all aware, unnecessary conflicts can affect the smooth running of any institution. Clashes of interests, values, actions or inactions, directions often ignite conflicts between management and the governing councils of our tertiary institutions. Conflicts in any social setting can bring about stress or tension among stakeholders. This is unwholesome for the tertiary education community and the Nigerian education system as a whole, resulting in mutual distrust and hostility among key actors. Efforts should be made by the councils to avoid such conflicts which are capable of undermining the smooth running of our institutions. The limited funds allocated by government should be judiciously utilized. As it is clear that government cannot provide all the funds required to run our universities, councils should think out of the box and endeavor to generate more revenue outside government allocations. In this regard, councils should enlist the support of philanthropic organizations and individuals for additional funding of their institutions. Council can also explore other sources of revenue through endowments. It is expected that councils will respect the principle of federal character in the appointment of members of staff. The growing trend of localization of federal institutions should be stopped. Formally, read out the membership of each university council at the end of which I'm going to ask you to perform the ritual of the inauguration. For the University of Ibadan, we have Chief Odegu Oyegu as chairman. Dr. Masoud Kazaure, member. Comrade Abba Yaro, member. Alhaji Abubakar Merkafi, member. And Honorable Emeka Nwabo, member.
We are happy that at last new councils signifying new beginnings are being inaugurated today. Let me at this juncture add that the NUC has been committed to the task of rapid revitalization of university education in Nigeria through a number of carefully spelled out programs and activities such as curriculum re-engineering, which is currently going on and will hopefully be concluded within the next 3 months. Review of accreditation and quality assurance instruments, developing governance code for private universities, promoting research and postgraduate development in Nigerian universities, fostering skills development and entrepreneurship, improving pedagogical skills of academics engaged in our universities, addressing inadequacies in facilities for teaching, learning, and research, as well as improving access and broadening equity, as well as empowering women in higher education. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as council members designate, the task before you is enormous, and the challenges are legendary. We appeal to you to continue to support our collective efforts towards repositioning our universities to enable our institutions to drive Nigeria's inevitable transition to a knowledge-based economy. Finally, while thanking the Honorable Minister, represented by the Permanent Secretary, and all other distinguished guests here, it is my pleasure to once again formally welcome you all to this inauguration ceremony in this hallowed hall, which remains the focal point for all major Nigerian university activities. Thank you for your attention. Thank you and God bless.
Education Trust Fund, we are ready for you, and by extension, we are ready for the universities. This government places premium on education. At TED Fund, our budget last year was 220 billion. This year is 300 billion naira. That is why I said we are ready to impact on every aspect of tertiary education in Nigeria. I am just coming from an assessment tour of universities in Borno and Yobe states on academic staff training and development. TED Fund has expanded from the year 2008 to date the sum of 150 billion naira on academic staff training alone. Our budget for the universities this year is in the region of 1 billion naira each. All federal universities as well as state universities. This is in addition to several, I'll repeat, several special intervention projects on hostels, on ICT, on power. You just
Michael Chidi reporting for GTV Africa, Abuja.